Kevin Otto wants to know, who are your favorite top 5 teams after the NFL draft? I think we'll do some power rankings here, Kevin. So stay tuned for that here in a little bit coming up. Not today, of course, but later on in the week, we'll break down the full NFL teams after the NFL draft. I still think teams like the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Saints, the Niners are all in really, really good shape with where things stand. I think, and there are quite a few NFC teams as well that I like where they're at. All right, Jacob Raleigh, will there be a race among the Bills, Saints, and Ravens to get deals done first for Lattimore, White, and Humphrey, respectively? Really good question. This is a smart question. So all of these players are, I believe they're eligible now for an extension. I need to double check that, but I'm pretty sure they're all eligible right now for a contract extension. The last guy to sign is going to get the most money. I think all three of them, especially Lattimore and White, and I think Humphrey as well, are going to be looking for more than what Byron Jones got. So whichever NFL team can be the most proactive and getting that deal done early, yeah, it's going to be expensive now, but you'll save money in the long term. Of course, the corners and their agencies are well aware of that. They're not going to settle for less. They're going to ask for more, and they'll try to hold out a little bit further. So I think, Jacob, yes, all three of those teams are going to try and get those deals done sooner than later. Akil wants to know about Eric Berry and the Dallas Cowboys. What would be a reasonable number or deal for them, I should say? 1 year, cheap? Like, Eric Berry didn't play last year. There's not much of a market around Eric Berry at the current moment because he hasn't been on the field. He hasn't been playing. No NFL team knows what he's going to bring to an organization. So maybe there's some incentives on the back end there as well. But in terms of guaranteed money, I think it's very low, and it should be low because he hasn't been out there for 2 straight seasons. It's going to take some time for an NFL team to see what they get out of him, and then they're not going to bank on an injured older player. A unique name coming in here next from the Airborne Cheeseburger, which I have absolutely no idea what that actually means, but it sounds fun. Sleeper team for next year. I feel like there's always one underrated team. I did peg the Bills as being that sleeper team last year. In terms of this upcoming season, they're in a really tough division. I do like Arizona to fit that sleeper. They do have some potential break here by having that extra playoff team going in as well. I don't think the Browns are kind of a sleeper team, given all the hype that's been had around them. I kind of wonder if the NFC North could have a surprise contender. It's probably not Detroit, but if Stafford stays healthy, maybe that could end up being the case. Maybe the Bears have a big-time bounce back here. That's a good question, Airborne. Maybe we'll do an entire video just on sleeper teams coming forward in the near future. But I appreciate that question, and I also really dig your profile picture as well. Now, if you guys want more Q&As, including live ones like this one in mailbags, I want you all to like the video. Do me a big favor. Let the bosses here know that you guys enjoy the mailbags. You enjoy the live Q&As where we just sit around chatting about football and answering questions. So if you want more of them, I want you guys to like this video for me. From Ida Boss, you think the Giants can have a top 10 offense now that Saquon and Jones will be protected? I think it's possible. I also think that banking on a very young offensive line doesn't always result in what you're hoping for. Maybe it's not this year. You do need Daniel Jones to take a big step forward, in particular. Stop turning the football over. Way too many turnovers in his first year, but he is still young. He should continue to develop. I don't think it's next year for the Giants. I think that looking ahead, you might have a better offense. I will make note, if Jason Garrett runs his offense, probably going to be a little bit more of a run-first, ground control offense like it's been for the Cowboys the past couple of years. Also, we're trying to get to a Hyundai likes, so please keep those coming. Alan Escobedo, if I pronounced that wrong, I'm really sorry. Do you think the Eagles wasted a pick on Jalen Hurts? Because I think so. The reality is the Eagles drafted Jalen Hurts because A, they like him as a player, of course. B, they clearly don't think Carson Wentz can stay healthy. Like, that's the only reason why you spend that premium of a pick for a backup quarterback. Now, the issue here is that in order to maximize the actual draft pick selection of Jalen Hurts, Carson Wentz must get injured. And that's not a good thing for the Eagles as an organization. That's really bad for them. That type of like conflicting information, conflicting value system isn't a good thing for a franchise. So to maximize the team, you probably want to have Carson Wentz out there for as many of the real snaps as humanly possible. To maximize Hurts, the draft pick, well, he's got to get on the field. Or he plays so great in limited time that he ends up getting traded for more than what he was drafted for. So you get a top 50 pick back for him. It's a little bit unlikely. So in order to maximize the pick, you're now wishing for the injury of your franchise quarterback. I don't like that, which means you spent your second best draft pick on an insurance policy. I don't like drafting that way if I'm an NFL team. From Billy Sargent, could the 49ers sign Logan or Prince Amukamara at corner? I wouldn't bank on Logan Ryan. Let me double check the size measurables here on Prince Amukamara, because the 49ers do have a specific size that they like in their corners. Ryan's a nickel in the NFL. I don't think he'd be a great fit on that front. For Amukamara, he's got shorter arms, 3.5 inches, so it is possible. I think Amukamara would make more sense, but I don't think that's a route that the 49ers choose to end up going. But I think maybe by bringing back Verrett and some others, they just choose to roll with those guys in the end for the San Francisco 49ers. Now, NFL rookie jerseys, they are available right now at chatsports.com/NFL jersey. That's chatsports.com/NFL jersey. They got them for all the NFL teams. All the top first-year players are available. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, make sure you draft him 1.01 in Dynasty first-year drafts as well. We'll get that link in the comments and the description. So all you got to do is click shop, sort by your favorite team, and you can find your newest team star player on there. It's at chatsports.com/NFL jersey. Not sure how many Packers fans going to go out and buy a Jordan Love jersey quite yet, though. Regardless, they're all available at chatsports.com/NFL jersey. All right, Winston Shan, is Michael Gallup eligible for a contract extension? He is not yet. Check back in next year. That's when Gallup is eligible for a deal. So because we have an entire season left of the NFL before Gallup and other players from his draft class can get paid, let's wait and see how he does. If he has another year like he just did, honestly, he might get more than Cooper because the cap is going to jump significantly. All right, from Augie, thoughts on Favre saying that Rodgers will not end his career in Green Bay. He's right. Look, Favre has lived this game. It was different for him because Aaron Rodgers fell to the Green Bay Packers. It was kind of a value upside pick too, and they had some more time. But the Packers moved up to get Jordan Love. They clearly think he is the long-term franchise piece at quarterback, not Aaron Rodgers. So Favre's right. Unless Rodgers decides to retire, which I don't think he's going to do. He's too much of a competitor. He's going to be playing elsewhere. Now, maybe it's in 2021, maybe it's in 2022, but there will be a day in the not-too-distant future that Aaron Rodgers is not a member of the Green Bay Packers. All right, from Susan, do you believe the Broncos are being slept on? I think it's possible. It all depends on how Drew Lock plays in year two. If Drew Lock takes a big step forward, has a fantastic year, balls out at quarterback, they're probably going to be a playoff team. If Drew Lock doesn't improve as much as hope, if the regression isn't the same, I think that's a fair outcome for the Broncos of not making the playoffs once again. So we'll see what happens. I think there is a real chance that the Broncos are a nice surprise team, as we discussed, or as we had that question up earlier. All right, next up here from Jordan, which rookie will make the most impact in year one? I mean, isn't it Joe Burrow, like the franchise quarterback? Isn't he the guy that's going to, in theory, help the Bengals the most, given their bad quarterback play last year? And I know it's a cop-out to say the first overall pick, but I think that's the route that they end up going. Honestly, if you want to go to the back end of round one, I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire, even though I didn't love the pick, he's a great fit in Kansas City. Now, that offense didn't need a workhorse back necessarily, but he's going to thrive in that Chiefs offense. So maybe you go first and 32 in terms of the round one guys. All right, back to Aiden. Do the Bears pick up Mitch Trubisky's fifth-year option? That's a really tricky question for the Chicago Bears to answer, because on one hand, you don't want to shatter your quarterback's already clearly shaken confidence because you already added Nick Foles. In the past, it would have been an easy yes because fifth-year options weren't guaranteed. Well, that's not the way the NFL is trending now. The new CBA is going to change that. So, in the end, I'm going to go with no, the Bears don't. But I would not be surprised if Pace decided to pick it up anyway because, after all, Trubisky was Pace's guy. This hasn't worked out too well so far. I want you guys to shout out your favorite NFL team for me. We just had a bunch of new people come in on the show here. So who's the most well-represented among the NFL? Is it the Cowboys? Is it the 49ers? Maybe it's the Bears. We saw some Broncos in there, some Chiefs as well. Eagles coming in. Raider Nation showing up strong. Seahawks, Ravens, early contender as well. I want you guys to shout out your favorite team for me in the comments section. I think Seattle might have an early lead as well. All right, keep those coming in. Carpet Shelf, is there any way the Saints could cut, trade Larry Warford and pick up a corner from free agency like Prince Amukamara? I think it's very possible. You have Eric McCoy, you pay Andres Pete, you draft Cesar Ruiz in round 1 as well. Clearly, Larry Warford is not long for this organization, even just beyond this year. So I think it's very possible. I don't know if they go after another corner. They brought back Janoris Jenkins, which I think puts them in decent enough shape. Maybe, and I wouldn't hate this, maybe the Saints could go out there. They could cut or trade Larry Warford and sign Logan Ryan, who could play some nickel for you. Now, of course, you had Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, that nickel safety hybrid role last year. But I think that does make some sense for the Saints as a possible move. All right, from Blake Wallace, will the Dolphins finally be good this year? Well, Brian Flores led them beyond expectations this past season, so I think that's reasonable again. But this is still a team that is not there yet, talent developmental-wise. The defense, I think, is going to be pretty darn solid, maybe even one of the better under-the-radar defenses in the NFL. But the offensive line is still very raw, underdeveloped. It's going to need time to gel. Tua's coming off injury, so I think from that perspective, you might have to lower expectations in year 1 for Tua and the Miami Dolphins. Bray is back, and he wants to know who is the better quarterback, Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields? It's a good question, and I think that's one that's not going to be decided for quite a while. And then that's going to be tricky here for Lawrence and for Fields. Both of these guys are going to be among the top in terms of the top NFL quarterbacks for draft prospects in 2021. Trevor Lawrence was the guy after his freshman year, had a bit of a rough start early on. Then it was Justin Fields who played great for most of the season. Lawrence got the better end of those two in the CFP semifinal game. But there are legitimate arguments for both of these guys. Like, you've got the Clemson star, Trevor Lawrence, supposed to be the guy long term, and then you got Justin Fields too. So I lean Trevor Lawrence, but I don't think there's a wrong answer here as we sit right now in terms of those two quarterbacks. I have a request for you guys. I want you guys to type done in the comment section if you are already subscribed. We'll give some shout outs here as well. If you have already subscribed to us here at Chat Sports, I want you guys to do that for me. Again, we'll give you guys some time to get your duns in there. So we got Francesco in there. Keep the duns coming. And we'll give some shout outs right now. Producer Skylar typed in is done as well. Are the Cardinals looking for a trade partner for Christian Kirk? If so, who calls? So that report was BS. It was speculation that Arizona could move on from Christian Kirk. Not that they had been shopping anybody. And part of it came from, well, maybe they draft CeeDee Lamb in round 1. Well, guess what didn't happen? They didn't take CeeDee Lamb in the first round. Kirk is going to be that team's number 3 receiver this year, bordering on number 2 with DeAndre Hopkins. And Cliff Kingsbury's offense is going to use 4 receivers a ton. So because of that, I really wouldn't anticipate a whole bunch of trade shopping for Christian Kirk. They're banking on Andy Isabella being a better guy this year. If anyone gets moved from that receiving core, maybe it could end up being Hakeem Butler, who didn't make any impact last year because of injury, quote unquote.